research topic, problem, purpose, and research questions for this PE 584 class. The first question that I often get from students is, what are some easy topics for me to consider? Well, let me assure you that there are no such things as easy research topics, but instead you need to focus on topics that you are passionate about and ones that will extend and promote growth in the field of physical education and sport. So the first component is for you to identify what will be your research topic. Many students refer back to their PE 582 topic that they began in that class, and this is completely acceptable for you to build off of that 582 topic. Other students would prefer to abort that topic and instead choose topics that were identified and discussed in other courses throughout the program. This is also very acceptable. Another area for you to explore is scholarly journals and dissertations and textbooks to be able to identify a potential research topic. But again, you're looking for a topic that you're passionate about, one that will motivate you, but not one that is necessarily easy. So this research topic is very broad. It's the beginning of the process, and you should be able to identify it or explain it in 1 to 2 sentences. After we identify the research topic, we're ready to identify the research problem. This terminology, problem, creates some confusion for students because they think there is a true issue or challenge at hand, but that is not the case. Consider the problem to be a hot topic or an area that needs to be explored in the area of physical education and sport. For example, some common topics right now that we are aware of is the concern of obesity for our children. Or another area would be the use of ergogenic aids or the use of steroids and EPO in our athletes. So those are common research problems. Other areas would be, Title IX, or the challenge of women being hired as administrators in sport. So when you identify the problem, you want to have a clear statement that the problem exists. You want to be able to support this research problem from evidence in literature. You should be able to identify that there is a trend that is occurring that has led to this problem or issue. You'll talk about the major concepts and you'll define these in your chapter 1. You should be able to describe the setting where this problem exists, some causes that might be related to the problem, and then finally you're going to be able to write a very specific and feasible statement related to this research problem. So again, don't consider this as a true problem, although it can be, but consider it more as an issue or a hot topic, and I'm sure that will assist you. And now as we narrow the process, we're going to identify the purpose of the study. And this is what your intention is to investigate throughout this research process. The purpose statement is very specific and precise. It's not broad or general. It's short and sweet, 1 to 2 sentences, very clear and goal-oriented. And you will start your sentence with the phrase, the purpose of the study is, and then you will identify the central concepts or ideas of your study. Some common action verbs that are used are listed below and include the terms relate, compare, describe, investigate, explore, or understand. Other terms that are used are what are the effects of, or what are the perceptions of. So focus on some of those action verbs to assist you in writing your purpose statement. Also, you need to identify who the key participants are and where you will want to explore this study. So will they be, younger adolescents, or will they be professional athletes? Will they be at the elementary school age, or will they be in a professional arena? So you want to identify that in your purpose. And then finally, you identify your specific research questions that will be used to focus on your study's purpose. We do not want yes and no questions. So for example, you would not want to say, do middle school students like physical education? Okay. Another way of writing that would be, What are students' perceptions or experiences in physical education at the middle school? So that would be another way of addressing it. Avoid questions that set up two opposing sides. So again, you just want to have one variable, one phrase in the question. They need to be clearly stated and focused. When I talk about one variable, there's an example there at the bottom of the page where it says you only want one and not multiple. So if you're looking at students' perceptions per se of technology and physical education, that would be one research question. If you also want to investigate their perception in sport, then that would be a second research question. But you don't want to have multiple variables in one question. This is an overall view of this research process, beginning very broad and general with the research topic, moving to the research problem, the purpose statement, and then finally the research questions. There's not a specific amount of questions that you'll write. It depends on what your purpose statement is, but most of the time they should be 5 or under, and we can discuss that together as you develop them. Finally, once you have developed a really solid topic, problem, purpose statement, and research questions, you'll determine how you're going to gather the data for this to be able to answer those research questions. So that might be using historical or archive data or records, surveying the participants or interviewing them face-to-face, or sitting in a class and observing. Other options are focus groups, where you get a group of participants together and you do a group type of interview and inquiry. So these are the means that you will use to be able to answer your research questions. But first you have to develop the topic, the problem, the statement, and the question. This information came from outside sources and research, and also from your Ormrod and Leidy textbook. So if you need additional information on this area, I encourage you to go to those sources, and you can also pose a question in the classroom or send an email to your professor. I trust that this information was helpful.